Yo no te oigo, Roberto, no sé si estás hablando.
Over the past 2 days, we have explored strategy, technology, design, innovation, women in the industry of the semiconductors, of course, and international cooperation. We have connected institutions, industry, academia, and talent with one shared goal: to strengthen the future of the semiconductor ecosystem in Spain and in Europe, and of course in the islands. Today, our focus turns to research and innovation in Europe, a perspective from the Canary Islands. After that, we will have an official closing of this third edition. I would like to thank you for being part of this journey during these days. And of course, let's begin presenting all these stakeholders that will be part of this final plenary session. Please join me in welcoming our moderator and distinguished speakers to the stage. This session will be moderated by José Manuel Rodríguez, CEO of WUPTIX. Dr. José Manuel Rodríguez holds a PhD in astrophysics from the Instituto de Astrofísica. Bienvenido, welcome. Please take a seat. Thank you very much. As I said, he holds a PhD in astrophysics from the Instituto de Astrofísica de Canarias and is a full professor of electronics at the University of La Laguna in Tenerife. After co-founding WUPTIX in 2016 and serving as CTO, he became its CEO in 2018. His research in adaptive optics and light field imaging, together with his patent and scientific experience, laid the foundations for the creation of this innovative company based in the Canary Islands. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you so much.
Joining this plenary conversation, we also have 3 outstanding experts from the European innovation ecosystem. We have online Ms. Isabella Obieta, She is Program Manager for Sustainable Semiconductors at the European Innovation Council and PhD in Microelectronics. With background at Bell Labs, AT&T and Technalia, she brings together deep industrial and research experience, managing a broad portfolio of European projects and in micro and nano fabrication and sensor technologies. Mrs. Isabel Obieta, welcome. Thank you very much for being with us. Can you hear us?
Okay, yeah, I can hear you properly. I hope you can also hear me properly. Thank you so much for inviting me, and apologies for not being there.
Sorry, but give us a couple of seconds to solve these technical problems, and let me now introduce Ms. Nata Jaipasvili. Now, ahora sí que las tenemos. Now we have you there. Isabel, can you hear me?
I can hear you properly. Can you hear me?
We can hear you, but we cannot hear.
I do.
You can hear us, but we cannot hear you. Sorry. So let us solve this. In the meantime, I introduce you to Nata Jaipasvili. She's representing the EIT Digital, one of Europe's key institutions for digital innovation, education, and entrepreneurship. We also have Mr. Bernie Capraro. He's Senior Manager of the University Partnerships and Talents Initiatives at SEMI Europe. Welcome on stage. Thank you for joining us today. With over 35 years of experience, Mr. Bernie, he has more than 35 years of experience in this semiconductor industry. After spending 27 years at Intel Ireland, he has built strategic partnerships across Europe, working closely with universities and vocational institutions to develop the next generation of semiconductor talent. Probamos a ver, can we try if we can hear them now? ¿Podemos probar el sonido, por favor?
Sure.
Yes, finally we can hear you, Isabel.
Sure.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
How are you doing?
Very good. Now, I was saying that thank you so much for this opportunity, and unfortunately I had to leave this morning, so that's why I'm not there, but thank you so much for the opportunity.
We thank you for joining us in this Congress. It's an honor for us to have you both here. Nata, welcome as well.
Thank you for the opportunity, and I'm excited to be part of the event. So yeah, and I hope you can hear me well as well.
So before we continue, let me introduce you to Roberto Pangallo. He's Corporate Affairs and Program Management Officer in Buptix. Welcome, Roberto.
How are you doing?
Bienvenido. Gracias.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. They all together will share insights into how research, education, public support, and innovation can work together to shape Europe's technological future and the important role that territories such as the Canary Islands can play in this transformation. The stage is all yours. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Well, we have done some kind of a change, like I'm gonna to be the moderator for today. And well, thank you for having us. Thank you for all the organization, the great effort that you have done just to take the CHIPNATION to Canary Island. We are so proud about it. Well, I'm coming from Botpix, then I'm coming from like the island next by. And a lot of activities happened here in Canary Island. Then we are so glad about that, and we are so incredibly fascinated about like what a small ecosystem as we have in Canary Island can be directly connected to like the European ecosystem and to all the worldwide semiconductor field. Then today, what we want to do is just to try to answer to a common question that we have, like how can a small, agile, sustainable ecosystem like the Canary Island can contribute to Europe's semiconductor future, and what concrete action can we implement starting today? And here, as we already mentioned during the event, we are, for example, speaking English in this event in the first CHIPNATION. And when I started, I proposed this panel to the organization. I was proposing like the European panel, and now I'm very surprised about the fact that we are all speaking in English, and we have a lot of people from abroad. And like here in the connection, in the panel, we have exactly this situation. We have just only Isabel, for example, which is Spanish, but she's based in Brussels. Then, like the only local guys are me and Jose Manuel, and I'm not even Canadian. But let's start just to put in context where we are at European level and how, like, Canary Island can support the gap that actually we have here in the semiconductor field. And let's start with Isabel, which is connected in remote, and she will gonna explain what it's the actual situation for the European SME companies, and what is like the public and private funding system moment that we have actually. Thank you, Isabel.
Thank you, Roberto. Thank you. Yes, I would like to introduce a little bit the role of the European Innovation Council, and specifically what it plays in the semiconductor sector. So I am the program manager for this sector in the European Innovation Council. So I have the privilege of seeing a lot of the best science in Europe in semiconductors and the best startups, like, for example, Wooptix, of course, that I'm following. So for those of you that do not know, the EIC role is to really bridge the different gaps of deep tech research. So we are part of Horizon Europe, completely dedicated to the SMEs. And it was created especially to translate the great research in Europe into innovation. Everybody knows that this is one of the big problems that we have in Europe. And now I think we are coming to overcome some of the challenges. So for this, 10 billion euros were dedicated as I said, under Horizon Europe, with several instruments. Some of you, the researchers, probably know the Pathfinder, which is funding grants at very low technology readiness level. We also have like an intermediate instrument, which we call transition, which is to bridge the gap to move from a proof of concept to a product and understanding the market, analyzing the scalability issues. So that's transition. And then the big star of our program is accelerator, to move from the lab to the fab to help finding investors. And in this case, we fund up to 2.5 million euros, and we invest up to 10 million euros. Now, this year we started with this scaling up. We call it STEP, and it's only investment that, for those of you that may be interested, it's managed by the European Investment Bank. Very important also for us is to have a good number of services around the helping and facilitating all this journey. So we have what we call business acceleration services to really create an ecosystem, to create networks of investors, to find corporates that are an end users that could be of interest for the startups, for the entrepreneurs. It's a different way of working. So we are hired for 4 years to really develop specific topics. And in my case, it was about sustainable semiconductors. So I just wanted to say that this is the flagship for innovation in Europe. We are trying to solve all these market failures that I think have been already commented along the 2 days that I have been present in this CHIPNATION Congress. By the way, congratulations, it's been super interesting. And one of them, of course, is the lack of investment in these risky sectors like semiconductors. The other one is scaling up. But it's also about trying to bring together, trying to overcome also the fragmentation in Europe. And I think in this case, regions and territories need to be very well represented in our programs. And that's why for me, it's a honor to have this kind of startups like Wooptix and others that will come and also very good research in again.
Thank you, Isabel. And now we are moving with Nata, which will gonna explain what is the role of 28 Digital and what is the actual status for the semiconductor European education. Thank you, Nata.
Thank you, Roberto, for moving and passing to me, because I think it's very exciting and interesting topic to explore and work further. And I think to start from Europe's semiconductor challenge is described as skill shortage, but I think it's more core and more fundamental, because it's about the coordination shortage, because we have excellent universities, world-class research centers, and we have important industry players, but these parts and these pillars are not unified or connected to each other. So I think this is important for the semiconductor sector to evolve. So, and I think that's where the 28 Digital comes in, building modern, flexible learning pathways, and we try to coordinate this gap. So the problem is why the traditional pipelines cannot keep up, because, and what's happening, and we know what is the challenge of the universities and traditional education in this case, because we see that in semiconductor field, technologies change extremely fast. New processes, new materials, new equipment, sometimes every quarter there are new skills needed for the workers within the field. And the traditional degree structure is slow, slow to design, slow to update, recognition are very structured. So we see these borders are quite challenging and overcome. So a full curriculum cannot be redesigned. It needs at least year or two or even three sometimes. And meantime, industry needs a clean room operators and other structural and field-oriented specialists to upskill and reskill in the field. And it means that degrees alone cannot really deal with skill shortage, which is approximately, as I know, like 65,000 person by 2030. So we need training pathways which are faster, modular, and more responsive to the industry needs. And here we come, I would say, the 28 Digital with different layers and of involvement. And one of them is EIT Digital Master School, where we have multi-country, multi-university model that already trains specialists in deep tech areas like embedded systems, data science, cybersecurity. And what this offers Europe is reference point to the quality assurance and international mobility. But again, besides these master degrees, what we offer is self-standing learning modules, where students can take online courses, self-paced, based on their needs and based on their available time. It's open to everybody, not only students in the field, and they will receive certificate at the end. But what we are working on at the moment, and I think that will be kind of core of my presentation or the speech today, to build up this new model around the micro-credentials, because this is the stronger impact from my perspective where we have, because micro-credentials combine academic rigor with industry-relevant skills. It can also offer structured ECTS and recognition parts, assessment rubric, and quality framework. So these are shorter than degrees, more rigorous than standard online trainings, and can be transferred across Europe. So this is our collaboration model, what we try to do with 28 Digital and University of La Laguna with the help of Boutiques. So we are trying to build up this particularly interesting example of the collaboration. And in here, we bring scientific foundation from ULL in different fields, and where ULL provides the academic excellence, and we provide learning design, digital delivery, and quality assurance part. And what's important here is to highlight that we also should have the industry involvement. And that's why this nature of micro-credentials is very interesting and unique with the nature. I think here ULL proves that a combination of scientific depth and academic agile digital delivery can create training that is high quality and future-proof, because we need to address these topics. And why micro-credentials are important and strategic for the Europe, because they are sometimes misunderstood as small, nice to have additions, but I think it's important to see them as strategic instruments, because it allows us to quickly adapt to new skills, train job-specific competencies within weeks or months. It's up to us to define the timeline, and create modular pathways that learners can build over time. So I think what we need now is architecture, the structure that connects universities, industries, and learners in a coherent, responsive way. And we have this triple helix activated, on addition together with the societal impact.
Thank you, Nata. And well, Bernie, from the Semicon Europe point of view and from your Intel experience, what can you explain us about talent?
Yeah, well, first of all, thank you so much for inviting me here to Chip Nation. I've had an excellent 3 days. I think Spain is doing a fantastic job, so thank you very much and well done. So I tend to like to tell stories, right? You know, I'm 38 years in this game, which is why I have the grey hair, I guess. But at least I still have it. But what's really important is, Nata already mentioned it, you know, if we try to live up to the ambition that Europe has to, you know, have 20% of the semiconductor business of the world by 2030, you know, the EXA project that SEMI is coordinating, the European Chip Skills Academy, that has a skills observatory, and as Nata mentioned, it predicts by 2030 we'll have a gap, a talent gap, of about 65,000 heads. Now, Europe actually graduates every year 1.13 million STEM students, 1.13 million. And only 28% of them currently have some kind of semiconductor module in their courses. But a lot of those remaining 72%, you know, have relevant skills as well. You know, they do labs. Let's take biology students. You know, they do labs every week, and they gather data, they assess data, and they form conclusions from data. So if you think of a process engineering sustaining role in the fab, that's the job today. Data analytics, forming conclusions, fixing problems. If we took some of NATA's and other universities' micro-credentials and offered them, for example, as electives in a biology course, and give them the knowledge of this industry, we would have done a good day's work, wouldn't we? You know? There's a lot of people that just don't know. So we have an image problem, and people are kind of stuck in their ways thinking we can only hire certain people. So my mission is to try and change that over the years. And, you know, this is kind of what I did in Ireland. I was lucky in my career. You know, in the semiconductor industry, you can move around within your company and do different things. So in 2006, I came out of the fab. I was sustaining since 1997. 2006, an opportunity came up for me to engage in European research on new materials. The next wafer size, that was my most favorite task, 450 millimeter. Okay, it didn't happen. But all the innovation came into 300 millimeter, so it was useful. But it was a great experience. 2015, I changed again and became the research manager at Intel Ireland, looking after programs that we had within the island of Ireland in universities, which was fundamental research feeding into our corporate research activities in Oregon. And it was looking at how will we make chips in 10, 15 years from now. Intel Ireland's GM, general manager, was looking forward. He knew we were going to build a new fab, Fab 34. This is 2015, 2016 timeframe. And he was looking for a way to try and secure a talent pipeline for this new fab, which only opened in 2023, October. So 7 years. And as we heard this morning in the talent session from Claude Laufin from the Silicon Search, it's a talent strategy. You have to have a strategy. Everyone needs to be involved. He knew that I had a network of university professors. He knew that I knew a lot of people in Europe. And he asked me, come up with a strategy for securing talent. Some of you may have been to Ireland. It's a small place, right? It rains a lot as well. It's not like here. 5 million people, roughly. So if you think about them, boil that down into what the universities and vocational schools have. Then think about all of the inward investment that Ireland had secured. It wasn't just Intel Ireland. It was Analog Devices. It was Microsoft. It was Google. It was every technology company you could come up with were there competing for the talent. So I came up with the idea of the Memorandums of Understanding, and we have 6 of them, or had 6 of them across the island of Ireland: Trinity College, University College Dublin, Dublin City University, Technological University Dublin, Maynooth University, and University of Limerick. And 3 pillars of activity: talent pipeline development, where we work with faculty, professors, and staff; students, be in the face of students, you know, show them what the industry is all about. We had the research, so we were developing really good research, fundamental research. At the same time, the universities were able to go and present that. They were able to publish on it, so it was a win-win. But we were at the same time developing a really nice PhD pipeline, because every module in the fab had a PhD. And then the last strand of activity was strategy and policy. You know, how do we fund third-level education in the country? What do we do about diversity, inclusion, and belonging? And what can we do about before university, before vocational training? This is sometimes very much forgotten, and it's key. You've got to get into the schools as well. This starts at home, but it really starts as well with teachers in the primary school and the secondary schools. So if you think of this outreach piece, you know, it's great that an industry can go into a school, and I'm sure you all do, right? You go in, but you can't be there Monday to Friday, 9 till 4 every day. It's impossible, right? You know, so I would go into a school maybe twice, 3 times a year, and we'd give excitement to the kids. I'm sure you would agree with me, right? If you think of STEM, science, technology, engineering, and maths, the T and the E bit is sadly lacking now in the classroom for various reasons, right? The OECD would back that up, right? There's no more fun. There's very little fun. When industry goes in, there's a bit of fun, and it kind of excites them. But if you could get that into the classroom every day, I'm sure it would make a big difference. So the proudest thing I did in Ireland, and I'm desperately trying to get this to go across the whole of Europe, is what we call the STEM Teacher Internship Program, the STEM or the STINT. And what that is looking at the new STEM teachers of the future, the ones that are coming through, get an opportunity in their final summer vacation to get a 12-week paid internship in a high-tech company. And what they do is they get offered a position. You know, they're actually working on stuff, hands-on. So in Intel, for example, we had them coding. We had them in the fab working on mixed reality headsets for technicians to do their preventative maintenance work. They were really hands-on. And at the same time, they're bringing their skills as well with planning, with communications, and the industries actually really benefit from. But what that actually generates is an excitement with the teachers. They go into their schools the following year, and they start doing more. You know, they start producing students entering competitions like the first Lego League. You know, there was one school that hadn't done STEM stuff for years, and then the teacher went in, entered them into the STEM Lego League, and they won it. You know, and that was 5 girls, 1 boy, you know. It was great to see. So they're actually doing more in the classroom hands-on because they've built up a lot more confidence to actually do this. But even more importantly, particularly at the second level school, is they can talk intelligently every day about what the world of work looks like right now and into the future. That's missing in a lot of places right now. The teachers don't know, and they need to know. So the STEM teacher internship is one great of many examples I can give you on how we can start to get the excitement back. That 1.13 as well, we can do micro-credentials back into these other classes. It's really important as well that we don't just view the micro-credentials as upskilling and reskilling. What you need to do is to bring them back into the undergrad courses and have those undergrad courses constantly evolving all the time so the students graduate closer to the needs of industry. So that's enough for my introduction, I think. Yeah.
I would listen more and more from you. Okay, let's move to José Manuel. José Manuel, in the other panels you've been so far, you have discussed about like Woodpix, the company, but now we are more interested about like your academia like history and how like for like the first spin-off ever of La Laguna, how you managed just to create a small, medium company, a startup, and how is the journey just to arrive to be like a global scale-up as now it's Woodpix?
Okay, well, thank you so much for the invitation, and congratulations to the CHIPNATION organization. I think it's been a really nice workshop. Related to this, well, we have a brief vocation of connection with the university. I'm full professor at university. I continue giving lessons, and I continue fishing profiles there, okay? The point is that, well, 12 or 15 years ago, I couldn't retain my PhD student, and now in the company, We have, I think, 25% of the workers PhD, and 3 of them making the PhD with us inside. We promote internships in the company when they are doing the graduates or the master. And we used to, how to say, promote also the students' workshops, or we try to help them, okay? And in my case, when I'm invited to give a conference in secondary school, by the way, I used to go, okay? But I don't receive many invitations, by the way. But I like a lot. I was a professor at secondary school some time ago, mathematics. And it's the moment where you can get vocations, okay, in men and in women. We have a lack of researchers, but I have an example that is curious, by the way. In physics, I'm giving lessons in physics now, the physics faculty at the University of La Laguna. We were maybe 10 students or something like that 20 years ago, okay? Then starting to grow a lot, women and men, the same number. And now last year I had 80 students there, okay? Then I was wondering why so many people here are studying in the last level of physics, 80 physicians. And the correct answer is because of Big Bang theory, basically, okay? Then it's the most productive way to promote vocation is marketing, okay? We need to do the marketing together. We need to spend money on that, and there are some ideas. One from you is the idea of making a series in Netflix related to this, and maybe with similar to Big Bang Theory, with a woman, something like that. It's good money. It's money that we need to spend on that because it's the way that we can get vocations, okay? And of course, we need to make an effort to go to the secondary school, but also to the university, because we have Canary Island 2 universities of 20,000 students in physics, engineering, etc. Maybe we are in the order of 4,000. Then there are many people for doing things, but we need to translate them what we are doing. Last year, after 5 years out of the university, I did lessons again. I gave lessons again. For the first time, I was spending all the course, all the year, talking about semi, okay? Of course, I have to talk about electronics, but then connected to semi. Then, at the end of the course, we have already fished the very best student in the 80 ones, and also the second one is also knocking in the door. Then, I mean, is the way to proceed, okay? And I'm sure we used to receive many CVs from our university, and now from all over the world, but the case is that we need to promote what we are doing, because I'm sure they are interested in having something, a motivating goal to go direct, okay? Probably there are many ideas, but we need to spend good marketing on that, and we need to spend money on that. That's my feeling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the fact is, like, we don't want to reinvent like a 27 wheel again for each country, and it's what we try, just to maintain and to be aligned. But I repeat that it's so incredible that I can just count with all these people on the stage, and like from a kind of a remote place, we are connected to the rest of Europe, to the world, and it's kind of that we are modifying a little bit the paradigm. Like we are not that remote, but we are just positioning ourselves in Canary Island as like the center of the world, because we have like a door to like South America, for example, or like transportation. We have like raw material in Africa. Then, and when we say that we are from Canary Island, from Europe, globally, everybody's saying, yeah, okay, you are from Europe, not just from the remote place that normally is mentioned all around Europe. Then we have completed the first round of presentation, but now let's try to challenge a little bit the speakers, and let's come back to Isabel. And I wanted to ask you, like, the fact that Europe is facing multiple semiconductor challenges, what should be like the priority to stay competitive right now?
Oh, that's a difficult question, right? Indeed, Europe is facing multiple challenges. I think the CHIPS Act, with the 3 pillars, has somehow been successful, maybe in the pillar dedicated to the research, and maybe not so much on the one dedicated to the supply chain and to the trying to bring some foundries to, in edge, especially to Europe, or probably those two have not been. I can only talk about the research and innovation pillar because that's the one I'm linked to, and this would be my 3 bets to really to stay competitive. I think one of them is to try to build on what we are strong. So we're strong in, let's say, power. We're strong in beyond CMOS. We're strong in materials, in equipment. So those are sectors that should be reinforced. I think companies like Optics demonstrate that we can really grow from an ecosystem like the Canary Islands, become relevant global players in metrology. So we need to help these companies in their very, very difficult journey. And I would say that maybe it's easier when you're in this equipment side rather than being far away from Europe. I also, well, I am a program manager in sustainable semiconductors, so I also believe that there are many opportunities in sustainability. Europe is leading the sustainability development, so especially materials and processes. So I really think we should stick to those. And finally, maybe it's the most important one. I think we need to work on the demand side. Now that I work a lot on trying to bring the end users to the startups, trying to build some strategies with the aerospace sector, the automotive, even with the data centers. This is really very difficult to play this game. And Europe should really do something similar to probably what Japan is doing at this point. Japan is doing something very similar to this. They are putting together the system makers for the specific sectors and bringing all the way the value chain to the chip. So the chip is at the end of the value chain, and they bring the whole ecosystem together. And I think we should do something like that. The demand side in Europe is not easy, and it's not well represented. So I would say that those would be my 3 bets to stay competitive in Europe, to stay competitive in semiconductors in Europe. Those would be my 3 bets.
Okay, thanks for like the concrete support that you are always providing to like, the small company, and it's important like for the small companies having support from people that are coming from the industry. Now they are in the institution, and they can just add value and yeah, providing guidance, because like in the small companies we have a lot of doubts. Then eventually you can just understand at least and support with like a concrete support. Let's move to Nata, and let's challenge her as well with like concrete questions, like about which are the barriers that exist now for the micro-credential in order to be adopted widely in the semiconductor sector.
Thank you, Roberto, for the question. And I'm new in the semiconductor field, but I'm not new in the education. So I would say that the challenges that I see here are not very unique only to the field, but it's also some challenges that we face across Europe with other fields as well. But I would say that I want to highlight several examples or barriers that we have, why we cannot adopt it widespread across Europe. And one of them is fragmentation of skills framework, because across Europe we don't have any shared coherent definition of semiconductor competencies, at least as I see it. Each country or even each institution or company use different terminologies for the skills, and then when we try to complement them or put together, then it's quite challenged. So I would say that without a common skills language, we cannot really scale. Another part is insufficient industry co-design, maybe because many micro-credentials are still created only within the universities in the sterile environment where they are not really talking to the industry. So I think it's very fast and rapidly changing environment, and sometimes it can happen that the mismatch is significant. So I think in the semiconductor roles are highly operational and process driven. So co-design is a must in this process. Another one, and I think with what we are trying also together with ULL is to bring this on the higher level is the practical environments, because we need these practical environments, not only online courses, but micro-credentials should bring in some practical exposure to the necessary infrastructure, which many regions don't have. And it's not necessary that it cannot, can happen only in physical spaces. We can have online live sessions where we can show, and of course it can happen in physical environment. So we can think about hybrid process. So we can share, we should have these shared competence centers, virtual labs, or digital centers where we are doing and sharing this infrastructure. Slow and uneven recognition across Europe. I think that the trust issues, we see that very often, that there is no trust. And most importantly, micro-credentials rely on trust and portability, and that's why we try to build up with ULL something which will be transferred with ECTS. And that's the important framework we want to bring in. Limited awareness is another one that I will try to and because there are more that I can name, but limited awareness and trust in shorter formats, because when somebody hears that person doesn't have a degree, that it can be already a raised issue. So we should increase this trust in the together with industry and university. So we should work together, and we should kill the fragmentation, lack of co-design, and limited practical access. So yeah, I would say these are just a few examples that I would like to highlight.
Yeah, SCTS it's a standard, and it's a standard inside Europe, but in order to attract talent, we should promote the fact that students from abroad, or like workers, because normally we are speaking about like young talent, but what about like people that they want to just to reinvent their career, and in this world right now, there are a lot of new technology, and then everybody needs to train every day, like we are working in innovation. If you don't learn something today, tomorrow you're going to be obsolete. Then it's so important that we are going to be like always updated, and having like a CTS as a standard just to validate talent from outside Europe. It's a very important tool that we have to use, an important chance. But then now we have to challenge Bernie. Like let's go to like to the talent pipeline development, and we are approaching like a talent gap. Then what we can do?
Yeah, so it really hinges for me on one key question. Is Europe prepared to collaborate on this, or stay fragmented? Because fragmentation is definitely the issue we have. If you look at the world, you know, I'm from Semi, so I'll have a global perspective for a minute. You know, there's three key issues that are actually impacting and could potentially stop the growth of the semiconductor industry. One is an environmental sustainability problem, PFAS. Another one is supply chain, how that's become impacted, and you all saw that during the pandemic. We got to stabilize supply chains. And the third one is, in fact, talent, right? The talent for us is a bit like if you were trying to make a loaf of bread that you wanted to rise in the oven. You've got to have yeast, right? Without the yeast, it ain't going to rise. It's the same for talent in the industry. If we don't have the talent, we have nothing. But what's happening is everybody's reinventing the wheel all over the region. You know, I did my stuff in Ireland. You know, ST are doing their stuff in France and Italy, and so on and so forth. Wouldn't it be great if we could all get under one umbrella, you know, and be able to share and see what each other's doing, what's having an impact, what isn't, you know, and you know, pump up the tires instead of reinventing the wheel every time. So really, that's kind of the key thing I would like to try and push through 2025. This will be my second year at Semi. I've kind of used a year to find my feet and speak about some of the experiences I had, you know, at Intel. Now, Intel was always about 1,600 technical heads per factory shell. You know, I did it in Ireland, and I was in the process of doing it in Germany and Poland. But this is 41 times size the problem, like, you know, it's 65,000. So you could all go off and do your own thing, but it's not really efficient. So what we need is to try and figure out how to build this umbrella organization for Europe. You know, there's been attempts of it, Pact for Skills, the Industrial Alliance, but, you know, they're not quite there. You know, we've got to figure out how to get all the players under the umbrella, and that includes, importantly, the 27 member state ministries of education. I spoke earlier about primary and second level. They have to be in the room. They have to help us, right? The talent pipeline doesn't start at 18 years old. It starts at 6, 5, and 4, right? You know, so we need them to help us. We have this coalition of the willing that all 27 member states have signed. So let's try and, you know, use that to try and get these guys in the room and help us with the T and the E in STEM in the classroom. But everybody involved, industry, academia, vocational, ministries of education, all working to the same tune. We need a permanent skills observatory. You know, what is the demand? What is the supply? Constantly being monitored, right? Key performance metrics for all of that put out there and actually work to, as if it was a business. We need universities to act quicker, right? You know, how long does it take to ratify a new course? You know, if I wanted to take one of NATA's micro-credentials and put it into an undergrad course, that takes months today. Yes. Get into task force and let's get it done in weeks. You know, this is the kind of stuff. If this is an essential business, then the answer needs to be appropriate. It needs to be sized to the problem. And to do that together would be a much more effective way. So I've used this phrase before. It's like looking at ripples in a ripple tank right now. Wouldn't it be great if we could cause a tsunami right across the region, you know, and all work together under an umbrella that's actively monitoring the progress, it's managing the progress, and it's helping us. The ministries of education, the member states, they need to bring the funding in, right? There's limited funds in the Europe stuff. We need national funds as well to help us with this. So that's what I think is the priority for Bernie in 2026 and beyond, to try and get that to happen. And again, I would quote the EXA project, because I'm very familiar with it, the European Chip Skills Academy. There is an alliance already there that members can come in. It has an academic board. There's currently 17 universities. It'd be great if we had the chairs of the Spanish universities join that as well and bring their story to the table. You know, and there's also, we're just starting up an opportunities page. It'd be great if we could use the Micro and Nano Spain to join in there, get the APIs, get everybody involved, get it all joined up so everyone across Europe can see what's happening and what's being done. Not easy.
No. Well, from our point of view, it's not always easy, but like with like a small company mentality, if it's not easy, you need time, resources, but
yeah.
you can do. You must to be perseverant, and like for our perspective in Tenerife, but in all Canary Island, it's so magic when you can go to like a mid school or high schools and just show what you are doing. Like there are kids that are surprised, like that in Canary Island we are doing this kind of technology. And always the professor, they are saying, I'm so sorry, maybe they are so particular kids, they will not pay attention. And at the beginning I was thinking like they were just watching the phone without paying attention on what I was saying. But any time that I'm gonna have like a speech in the schools, at the end I have like a queue of kids or young guys that they are asking. They are so interested that this is so grateful for us. Understand how we can just close like the pipeline, and we are imagining those kids just working for our company maybe in 10 years. Then it's already like a long long-term plan
Exactly.
that you want to create, and it's exactly what innovation does. Because it's not just matter of production, but it's matter of not material production, but talent production. And you always must to have a mid-long-term plan. But I'd like to ask about micro-credential. It's a very challenging target for Europe. It's like over there like since 3 years as a challenge, as like an agenda, and was kind of difficult just to implement in one university. And I'd like to ask Jose Manuel, how was that possible? Like in the ULL, they accepted the challenge and proposing like remote STTS, but local STTS, and offering like clean rooms, because clean rooms are the base of the hands-on of semiconductor.
Yes, well, let me tell you guys that we are a spin-off of the university, then we remain in facilities that belongs to the university. We are spending a lot of money there. We have built a clean room in the order of 120 square meter, okay, and 400 square meter more for offices. And I think all this infrastructure at some point will belong to the university entirely, and they can use them for training people, for training students, okay? Because we have already rented a big space, 1,000 square meter, where we are now mounting 300 square meter of clean room. I mean, we do the things for the company, but also we do the things for the next generations, okay? And the effort has to be done now. We have the tools of the cathedral chips. There are several representatives here. Some universities are waiting for the next call, offering cathedral chips again. But at some point, we hosted the first meeting of the cathedral chips at Universidad de La Laguna 1 year ago, I think. And all of us were making the same diagnosis. We need STEM, we need vocations, we need engineers. We need to collaborate for that, okay? We need to take decisions in the national and European point of view, because it's a European problem, okay? We have an experts guy, like the ones that you are today hearing. He has done the job in several spaces. Then let's go ahead with them, put money on that. And here are also government representatives. They should know that it's really important to put the money now in formation in these kind of things. That's my message. From the robotics point of view, from the Universidad de La Laguna point of view, we will help all we can in this subject, okay? Because without people, we are dead, okay? Basically.
Yeah. What is interesting is like we can experiment. We are physically inside the scientific park of Tenerife, and we are physically inside the university. Then our like ecosystem is very close, and but it's surprising how like we can just provide, for example, material or like media data to like European Association, and how we already have information, and we already work to like a challenge that Europe is facing in the future. But we have discussed about a lot of plan, but let's go more concrete and let's see something. Let's see an example of what we have already done intermediately at the European level. Then I'd like to ask to play a video. Can I have the video on the stage?
Maybe they are not hearing us. They are sleeping.
Any chance?
Well, let me go inside.
So maybe I'll just say a few words before
it
kicks in. So this isn't the Netflix series that Jose Manuel was talking about. This was done on a very small budget, and it's a pilot. And this particular video is a short video aimed at university students, just to kind of give them an example or taste of what they can do. So the emphasis on you can take part in this video, and it's just a pilot.
Yeah.
Okay, so please give us your comments afterwards at lunchtime as well, so we can improve.
Ready?
See?
Okay.
See,
Are ready for the video?
Yes, you can ask for the video now.
Thank you.
roll the video.
Take a look at what is around you. Smart devices, electric cars, phones, healthcare technology, virtual reality, futuristic robots. Ever wonder what is behind it all? No, it's not magic. It is semiconductors. And yeah, you could be the one behind it. So how do we get from here to there? The silicon starts with sand. Melt it, shape it, zap it. And boom, you're holding the future. You can design it, you can build it, you can shape it.
This industry is about teamwork, innovation, and bold ideas.
This career mixes science, tech, and purpose.
In this job, tech and sustainability go hand in hand.
It's creativity and precision combined.
In semiconductor, you don't just follow trends, you create the future.
Chips power
Everything you use.
every day.
Now it's your turn to go from player to maker. Your semiconductor journey starts right here, right now.
Nice. I think you're the responsible.
Yes,
Congrats.
so that QR code at the end is still under development, but that would provide an opportunity for a student to go to just one place and find all the opportunities that are available across Europe. So, as I said earlier, it would be great if we could have the Micro Nano Spain API to join into that as well. And then we will also, I mean, one thing I didn't mention is the CHIPS Competence Centres are key for us going forward. You know, they've got to get under that umbrella as well. We're going to do another version of this that has their own, you know, regional QR code as well that would enable their own ecosystems. So it's just a taster, it's a pilot. We need loads of these. As I said, this one is kind of aimed. Maybe the beginning needs to change. Maybe it's a bit too young looking for a university student, but we need to do schools, we need to do parents, we need the budget for like a Netflix, you know, it takes money, you know, and it takes effort, and it takes creativity. You know, engineers maybe can't do that. You know, how about we put a project into the University School of Media, for example, and let them do it for us? It's just an example.
We need ideas. You have the ideas, please, in case you have idea for your own ambient, for your own university or your own Cateras chips, please share with the rest, share with him, because he can take a powerful tool in Europe for getting the result that we are looking for, okay?
Yeah.
Can I add something?
Of course. Isabel, go ahead.
Frozen.
Because I have to say that for innovation is missing. And I already discussed this with Professor Manuel. I think we are missing the entrepreneurship part. I think we need to embed some entrepreneurs, and this is something that is missing in many universities in Europe, and we see that successful universities really developing a lot of startups and making the journey for the SMEs easier. They embed very well the entrepreneurship. So I would like to add something related to entrepreneurship, academia, in the masters, having some courses. That's my little drop in this ocean. So thank you very much for this opportunity. I will have to leave now. Sorry for that, but now we are already embarking. So thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye. And Nata, you want to add something?
Just very few words. I think what Isabel just mentioned, it's very important, and we also have this innovation and entrepreneurship minor in the 28 Digital Master School. But besides that, just very quick point about micro-credentials, because I think it's important to have the guideline for European training initiatives to design program that can be easily transferred and scalable across the Europe within the semiconductor fields, which will build trust and accessibility. So I think it's important to have this framework. And yeah, thank you for it was very interesting also from here to hear the conversation.
Yeah, like for the startup wars, like challenge the wars in the world, it's normal for us. And like the idea of this panel was just challenging all you in order just to join like this journey that we are creating, like proposing this pilot video, for example, but it's something concrete that we are developing, and we want the support of everybody, that we want to be as much as inclusive that we can. I guess it's time to close the panel, maybe.
I'm not pressing. No, thank you very much to all of you. Let me name you. Roberto Pangallo, thank you very much for conducting. Bernie, thank you for coming to the islands. Jose Manuel Rodriguez, thank you for joining us. And also Nata and Isabel from the other side. Thank you very much for being with us today. It's been a really inspiring session also today. And well, now we have to go to the final closure, and we have a surprise in a video. So let's give them a big hand and a warm thank you. As I was saying previously, we are honored to receive a special institutional video message from Mr. Oscar Lopez, Minister for Digital Transformation and Public Administration of the Government of Spain.
Presidente del Gobierno de Canarias, Presidente del Cabildo de Gran Canaria, Alcaldesa de Las Palmas, Director General de la SET, Presidente de AESEMI, representantes de la industria y la academia, amigas y amigos. Es un honor saludaros en este tercer Congreso de la Industria de los Semiconductores, CHIPNATION 2025, una cita imprescindible en el punto de inflexión en el que vive el sector español de los microchips. La revolución es verde y digital, los fondos europeos y la colaboración público-privada están haciendo posible el renacimiento industrial español. Como bien sabéis, vuestra industria y toda su cadena de valor constituyen el núcleo de la economía del siglo XXI. Por eso España mueve ficha, para impulsar la soberanía digital europea y para hacer de nuestro país un vivero fértil con proyectos industriales punteros, como la próxima Sala Blanca de IMEC en Málaga, como Buptix, la spin-off canaria líder en metrología de semiconductores, como la colaboración con Diamond Foundry Europe para crear una sociedad mercantil especializada en diamantes monocristalinos, proyectos en los que el Gobierno de España participa activamente a través de nuestro brazo inversor, la SET. Tan solo estas tres operaciones suman más de 1.000 millones de euros en inversión pública innovadora. Pero hay más, y lo mejor está por venir, porque España tiene talento, tiene un ecosistema de pymes cada vez más digitalizado y tiene un gobierno que apuesta por ámbitos estratégicos como la fotónica o RISC-V. Por eso estaré atento a las propuestas que salgan de estas jornadas de CHIPNATION para que sigamos avanzando. Gracias por vuestra labor y muy feliz Congreso.
Thank you, Honorable Minister, for your message and for your support to the Spanish and European semiconductor strategy. Okay, now let's go for the institutional closure of CHIPNATION 3. Over these 3 days, Las Palmas de Gran Canaria has become a meeting point of ideas, innovation, and collaboration. This Congress has reaffirmed that Spain is not only part of the global semiconductor conversation, it is an active and growing contributor to it. From here, in the Canary Islands, a natural bridge between continents, a platform for science and territory committed to the knowledge economy, a clear message has been sent to Europe and to the world. Spain is ready to innovate, Spain is ready to collaborate, Spain is ready to lead. It's been an honor for me having been conducting these days the different sessions, and I would like to thank you very much for all your support, and also I would like to, for those who come from abroad, have a safe and nice trip back to your countries. And of course, for the final institutional closure, we have the honor to have again with us And I would like to invite him on stage, Mr. Carlos Pardo, President of YSME and CEO of KD. Muchas gracias. Thank you very much, Carlos.
First of all, thank you, Laura, for conducting these meetings. It's not easy because we have been changing real time. She has been very flexible. This guy is not coming. This video is not here. So thank you very much for that. As always, when we have to close something, we need to thank people. And always we need to thank who has been doing the promotion of that. We have golden people, special Siemens was paying a lot. All the food that we have been eating has been paid by the institutions. And I really appreciate that. We believe from the association that having an event which is really low cost is important to allow people to come and to share. And that's why all these companies and institutions put in money. We really appreciate that. And in that sense, people also that are putting money are the Cabildo, the local government of Canarias, and also the SET that is providing money for this event. And even if we don't like to talk about money, it's a reality. I mean, things doesn't happen if there is no money behind. And we really appreciate that. In the same way, for those that you has placed some stands there, the feedback I have received is that has been positive. People are coming to the stands. There are good new contacts. So yeah, we will plan for the next one to have more space, so more companies and more institutions can put their stands. And we'll try to keep the same low cost that really enables this easy share of information. We have to think, the philosophy of this event is an event from the association to the members, from the members to the association. And a clear demonstration of that is we have 100 speakers and we are 300 attendees. So it's an event from the members to the members, okay? It's not Alfonso and his team doing everything. In reality, we are all the people participating that we have been contributing. And I think this is really the key part, because it's a message from the people that we are making the industry, that we are sharing with the rest of us. And we are sharing views, sharing experiences, and that's good. And now, again, I said that before, but I think it's very important, all the foreign people that you are coming to Spain, really appreciate. We have done an effort trying to do everything in English to enable this dialogue. But now I want to change to Spanish because I'm going to talk about the association itself, and I don't want to lose the details, so sorry for that, for the English speakers. Y ahora pues quiero hablar un poco de la asociación y del futuro, ¿no? Aquí hay, todos los que estáis prácticamente sois todos miembros, hay algunos que estáis súper tentados en convertiros en miembros, así que os lanzo el guante. Y para que veáis un poco lo que nos viene de año, el año 2026, para la asociación es algo completamente novedoso. Nos tenemos que reestructurar y Alfonso lo está haciendo, porque vienen unas aventuras increíbles, ¿no? La primera gran aventura donde nos estamos metiendo, como ya lo sabéis, es el centro de competencias, la llamamos Micronano Spain. La asociación ha sido receptora del liderazgo del centro de competencias español. Para que lo sepáis, cada país europeo se ha creado un centro de competencias participado en financiación desde la Unión Europea y también desde los gobiernos nacionales. Y en España tenemos dos, uno dedicado a la parte óptica y otra pues, al resto de los semiconductores. La parte del resto de semiconductores lo lidera ASMI. No es de ASMI, sino que, bueno, pues está el CSIC, están las universidades. Y el objetivo de Micronano Spain es un poco mapear y ser un centro donde cada una de las instituciones y empresas puedan aportar pues sus conocimientos, los servicios que dan, para que haya una especie de base de datos común y cuando alguien quiere buscar, oye, ¿quién me puede hacer un empaquetado, un wire bonding, o quién me puede hacer este diseño, o quién tiene esta IP de RISC-V, bueno, pues pueda ser fácil encontrarlo y también para que nos podamos relacionar con el resto de Europa y también fuera de España podemos encontrar de una manera fácil todas estas cosas, ¿no? Bueno, pues estamos liderando ese esfuerzo desde ASMI. Es mucho dinero, es muchísimo trabajo y bueno, pues el equipo está creciendo mucho para dar soporte a eso. Entroncado con este centro de competencias hay una iniciativa de plataforma web que se llama Semiconductores, donde todos estáis invitados y donde pues cada uno de los miembros podrá aportar pues esto que os digo, ¿no? Ese catálogo de servicios y productos que queréis ofrecer tanto a nivel español como europeo para que bueno, pues todo esto se pueda compartir de una manera cómoda, ¿no? Entonces, bueno, pues que sepáis que esto ya está en marcha, está funcionando, el primer prototipo y bueno, pues durante el año lo iremos promocionando y arrancando para que lo podáis usar y os pueda servir para ofrecer servicios, ¿no? Nos ha ocurrido durante el CHIPNATION que se nos acerca gente, oye, que yo tengo este producto, me gustaría compartirlo con vosotros, yo tengo esta iniciativa, bueno, pues poder hacer una plataforma web que te pueda permitir eso de una manera cómoda y no tengamos que esperar otro año, bueno, pues puede ser útil, ¿no? Entonces, bueno, ahí que sepáis que eso está y bueno, pues también eso Semiconducta se entroncan también en esa necesidad que tiene el gobierno y toda la Unión Europea de mapear la industria de los semiconductores, ¿vale? Hay muchas iniciativas paralelas intentando averiguar, pero cuánto de grande es la industria, cuál es el potencial, dónde queremos reforzar, aquí o allá, y al final para poder tomar las decisiones correctas necesitamos información. Y la información está en cada uno de vosotros, en cada uno de los miembros, ¿no? Entonces, Semiconducta, uno de los principales clientes no solamente somos nosotros, sino el propio gobierno, tanto español como europeo, donde se conecta para decir, bueno, a ver, ¿qué se está haciendo en España? ¿Dónde merece la pena que ponga yo los esfuerzos? ¿Vale? Entonces, es una manera también de poder mapear la industria, ¿vale? Entonces, bueno, pues invitaros a que cuando os hagamos partícipes de los links, hagáis el esfuerzo de introducir la información, porque no solamente es para nosotros, sino también bueno, pues puede ayudar al gobierno a tomar decisiones, ¿no? Hablábamos el otro día sobre el IPCEI y sobre los problemas que va a haber de financiación. El IPCEI, pues el gobierno tiene que tomar decisiones de apostar o no apostar, y en la medida en la que sea capaz de poner cifras y poner importancia a lo que se está haciendo aquí, pues podrá tomar esas decisiones. Y si está ciego, pues le va a costar, ¿no? Entonces tenemos que dar información para que esas cosas ocurran. Otro de los retos que tiene ASMI es continuar lo que hemos hecho aquí, ¿no? Hemos tenido sesiones de diseño, de backend, de RISC-V, pues todo el tema de talento, de inversión. Bueno, pues la idea de la asociación, que llevamos tiempo haciéndolo, pero este año, como vamos a tener más recursos, queremos reforzarlo más, es poder hacer sesiones durante el año donde estas cosas se puedan seguir haciendo. No sea solamente una vez al año donde vengo y expongo y ya está, ¿no? Sino que, bueno, pues podamos ir teniendo sesiones donde las empresas puedan presentar lo que están haciendo, donde las universidades puedan presentar sus iniciativas y comentar sus preocupaciones. Bueno, pues todo ese tipo de cosas no queremos que sea una cosa puntual en el año, sino que sea algo, pues que sea la vida de la propia asociación, ¿no? Entonces, bueno, pues eso Alfonso va a estar ahí empujando para que todas esas actividades se continúen durante el año y os invitamos a participar, porque de la misma manera que ahora hemos participado y 1 de cada 3 asistentes está contribuyendo, pues bueno, aquí también necesitamos la participación de todos. Para rematar, me gustaría también hablaros de la rama internacional que está teniendo la asociación. Tenemos una acción, una actividad bastante intensa a nivel europeo. Somos miembros activos en All-Pros. All-Pros, para los que no lo sepáis, es la Alianza Europea para la Microelectrónica y los Procesadores. Es una alianza promovida por la Unión Europea, con fondos de la Unión, pero en principio es de las empresas para las empresas, y es el principal interlocutor a nivel europeo de la industria de los semiconductores con la Comisión, ¿vale? Entonces, somos miembros de All-Pros como asociación. Os invito a que también os hagáis miembros como empresas. Hay 3 grandes working groups en All-Pros. Uno es sobre el supply chain, el otro es el PFAS, que es toda la parte de ecología, y el otro es la parte de talento. Puede haber universidades, puede haber empresas. Nosotros estamos liderando, y yo soy co-chair de la parte de supply chain, y un poco también entrelazando toda esta parte de mapear el supply chain europeo y de dar feedback a la Comisión de las cosas que importan. Por ejemplo, pues todo este problema que ha habido con Nvidia, pues hay una interrelación directa y la Comisión nos pregunta, y se ha hecho un esfuerzo de un gemelo digital de la industria europea para que se pueda un poco medir qué pasa si Nexperia se va al garete, esto qué implicaciones tiene en la industria, ¿no? Pues que se pueda cuantificar de una manera clara esto que supone, esos riesgos cuáles son. Pues todo eso, toda esa interrelación está ocurriendo entre All-Pros y la Comisión, y la asociación está teniendo una posición muy activa en eso, ¿vale? O sea que dentro de Europa pues también la asociación pues está siendo reconocida, y participamos en varios proyectos europeos como asociación en toda esta línea, ¿no? Que también va a haber pues encuestas para definir este supply chain europeo, que está muy relacionado con el centro de competencias. Pues en todo este esfuerzo de intentar mapear perfectamente la industria europea, pues ahí estamos. Más allá de All-Pros, al que os vuelvo a invitar que participéis, y dentro también de All-Pros hemos participado activamente en la definición del Chip Act 2.0. Algunos de vosotros lo habéis hecho como empresas, incluso como individuos, pero desde la asociación pues hemos acordado también una postura común y se ha subido documentación. Desde All-Pros también se ha subido documentación a la Comisión, pues con un montón de sugerencias y de guidelines de lo que nos gustaría que fuera el Chip Act, ¿vale? Entonces, es una ley que es de trascendencia enorme, porque esperemos que dé también posibilidad a los gobiernos para financiarse en esta línea. Esperemos que pueda, por ejemplo, reducir los impuestos que puedan aplicarse a la industria de los semiconductores porque se considere estratégica, sobre todo en el área de energía. Y puede, más allá de alocar recursos para mantener el I+D, pues puede habilitar pues, la financiación de el resilience, ¿no? La capacidad de poder diseñar y fabricar chips en Europa, y ese objetivo del 20% de fabricación a nivel internacional, que en vez de llegar al 20%, lo que hemos hecho es casi bajar durante estos años, porque es que los demás están poniendo muchísimo dinero también, pues darle ese objetivo, pues ponerle más medios, ¿no? Y entonces, hemos también ahí participado muy activamente, y agradeceros a los que habéis dado feedback porque lo hemos podido subir. En esa misma línea pues hemos estado en relación con Taiwán, hemos participado en ferias, hemos permitido a socios que vayan a las ferias, y pues en el año que viene pues también ayudaremos, ¿no? A las pequeñas empresas que quieran ir al Semicon, tanto al taiwanés como al europeo, pues ir ayudándoles, porque pues recibimos financiación también para permitiros que vayáis de una manera cómoda. Y pues es un poco lo que tenía que deciros, ¿no? El que veáis que el año que viene va a ser muy activo. Alfonso se está preparando para ello, su equipo también, no para de crecer. Yo lo veo con mucha alegría el ver cómo crecen y la ilusión que están poniendo. y bueno, pues nos vemos las caras físicamente en Barcelona. Estaba el otro día hablando con Roger de Acción, que están con muchas ganas, ¿no? Y cogiendo ideas aquí y allá para Barcelona. Nosotros también hemos aprendido, de nuevo, disculpar porque habíamos calculado mal, creíamos que íbamos a ser menos y entonces pues hemos calculado mal el aforo, y a todos los que habéis querido entrar en una sala y no habéis podido entrar, pues disculpas. Por otro lado, el lado positivo es que había interés. También nos va a permitir también rediseñar los tiempos y ver pues el grado de interés que hay en cada una de las áreas para poder hacer, bueno, pues si la parte de diseño interesa más, o el Sysfy interesa más, o la parte fotónica, bueno, pues el poder dimensionar los tiempos de acuerdo a los intereses que tenemos y que en Barcelona pues podamos hacer un CHIPNATION más a las necesidades, ¿vale? Entonces, bueno, pues invitaros a participar en Barcelona y seguiremos mejorando. Y ya para cerrar, pues a mí me gustaría el invitar a las autoridades que están aquí presentes, ¿no? y a José María de la SET, el que venga a dar dos palabritas de agradecimiento y... ¿No? José María, ¿te animas? Y de despedida y luego pasaremos a... Vente.
Gracias, Carlos. Estimados asistentes, congresistas, by just a short moment, I thought that I have to give my speech in English because to start Carlos with their English, so I think I have to translate my speech on in that moment. But as you have chance to Spanish, I try to change to the Spanish. Okay. Me gustaría comenzar felicitando en primer lugar a la Asociación Española de Empresas de Semiconductores y Microelectrónica, SEMI, por la celebración de este extraordinario congreso. Un evento que se ha convertido en imprescindible por lo referencial que constituye el elenco de personas que reúne. Lo mejor que se puede decir de un acontecimiento como este es que se convierte inamovible en nuestras agendas. Y eso lo habéis logrado. Así que felicidades, Alfonso, Carlos y al resto de SEMI. Por otro lado, también es de justicia agradecer a todas las administraciones canarias la colaboración y facilidad para toda la cadena de valor de los semiconductores y microelectrónica, de la cual SET forma parte y que se haya podido celebrar en este auditorio unas jornadas tan productivas. Una colaboración que creo que está a la altura de precedentes ediciones y que curiosamente cada vez más alejada del centro peninsular, lo cual nos alegra porque sirve para conocer el excelente talento que se desarrolla en todas las partes de España. Se ha pasado por Getafe, Valencia y hoy Las Palmas. Mañana Barcelona y Cataluña, ejemplos de cómo se puede desarrollar una política tecnológica y de crecimiento pegada al territorio. Y es que el territorio tiene una importancia clave en este sector porque es donde surge la innovación, en la capilaridad, en el conocimiento que se crea desde la cercanía, pero a la vez desde la universalidad que conlleva la palabra universidad, en la ayuda al nacimiento de las startups, vía centros tecnológicos o centros educativos y de investigación, en la solución de los problemas del día a día de nuestro entorno, que posteriormente dan lugar a soluciones globales. Cercanía. Esa es la esencia de la magia, la innovación que mueve a estos sectores que el Gobierno de España, a través de SET, estamos potenciando. Un impulso que busca España de la mano de todos sus actores, que para tener un papel relevante como nunca antes en la historia la había tenido el sector de la microelectrónica y los semiconductores. El Ministerio de Transformación Digital y de la Función Pública, del cual forma parte SET, como nos ha recordado hace un momento el ministro, tiene clara su vocación tecnológica, pero también económica y humanista. Y entendemos que nuestra labor consiste en hacer mejores a las empresas punteras, las empresas de la España del siglo XXI, que hoy aquí está sentada, para que el futuro nos alcance antes, mejorando así la vida de todos los españoles. Creemos que es momento de no cejar y seguir con la colaboración público-privada al más alto nivel, continuar con la cooperación interinstitucional y, desde luego, no perder el ritmo que se adquiere en eventos como estos, con tan magníficas participaciones, tanto científicas como empresariales. No paremos la actividad con la clausura de hoy. La conversación tiene que seguir ahí fuera. Muchas gracias.
Invitaría a Juan Ramón, de la Sociedad de Promoción Económica de Gran Canaria, para decir unas palabras.
Muchas gracias, Carlos. Bueno, muy breve. Creo que hace algo más de un año, cuando empezamos la discusión con AESEMI y la oportunidad de traer este evento aquí a Gran Canaria, no éramos conscientes del impacto y de realmente todo el alcance que podía llegar a tener, y espero que la magia de este auditorio haya ayudado a que hoy en la clausura esta sala está prácticamente llena, y eso demuestra sobre todo el compromiso, el respeto de todos a este sector. Nosotros desde la Sociedad de Promoción estamos muy orgullosos, realmente muy contentos de la confianza que han puesto en esta isla de acoger el evento, y yo creo que ha sido también un reconocimiento a las instituciones canarias, a las universidades canarias, que realmente están en el camino correcto con una iniciativa propia, sumando su granito de arena a una estrategia nacional, y yo creo que desde el Canary Chip también, desde el gobierno, desde la parte también del Instituto de Microelectrónica, que pone en valor todos esos años de dedicación que es digno de reconocimiento, y yo los veo aquí presentes y siento orgullo de realmente que podamos decir que en Canarias hay un sector de microelectrónica y que estamos aquí hoy también demostrándolo, así que gracias por estar aquí. Y sobre todo, yo creo que ayuda también a dar ese empujoncito que necesitamos, ¿no? Hoy para nosotros todo este contenido de este evento nos ayuda a tomar decisiones y acelerar todas estas iniciativas públicas para seguir apoyando el sector, y ha sido la presencia de cada uno de ustedes, de toda la información que nos ha llegado para poder seguir avanzando. Así que nuevamente agradecerles, la confianza de AESEMI ha sido fundamental en todo este proceso, y espero vernos en Barcelona. Nuestro compromiso no acaba aquí, seguiremos apoyando a AESEMI y al sector en todo momento, y bienvenido. Yo creo que la decisión sobre todo de hacerlo justo pegadito a un puente es fantástica, porque así espero que muchos de ustedes sigan disfrutando de la isla estos próximos días. Bueno, muchísimas gracias.
Ciertamente que agradecemos la acogida de la isla, y algunos de nosotros nos vamos a quedar a disfrutar la toalla que nos habéis regalado a la asociación, y además hoy nos habéis regalado también sol, con lo cual pues lo agradecemos. Para cerrar, me gustaría invitar a Javier Franco, que ha estado aquí todos los días con nosotros, el director de la Agencia Canaria de Investigación.
Bueno, parece que ya llega el momento de decir hasta luego, ¿no? Bueno, buenas tardes a todas y todos, representantes de instituciones, empresas, centros de investigación, profesionales del sector. Durante estos 3 días, Canarias se ha convertido en el epicentro nacional del conocimiento, la innovación y la colaboración tecnológica e industrial, consolidando la CHIPNATION como un evento imprescindible para comprender los retos y las oportunidades que marcarán el futuro del ecosistema de los semiconductores en España y posiblemente en Europa. Quiero expresar, en nombre del Gobierno de Canarias, nuestro más profundo agradecimiento, por supuesto, a la SED, a la SPEG, a todas las personas que han hecho posible este encuentro, ponentes, empresas, investigadores, estudiantes, instituciones, y al conjunto del sector que hoy da un paso más en su madurez y en la proyección internacional. Pero permítame hacer un especial Agradecimiento al equipo humano de ASEMI, Carlos, Afonso, muchas gracias, felicidades y un aplauso por parte de ustedes. Hoy hemos comprobado que Canarias no solo tiene una visión, sino que cuenta con una estrategia sólida, realista y ambiciosa para situarse en el mapa global de la microelectrónica y los semiconductores, la estrategia Canary Chip. Esta hoja de ruta plenamente alineada con las estrategias del Estado, con la estrategia europea de chip, refleja la determinación de este Gobierno de Canarias de diversificar la economía, de atraer la inversión de alto valor añadido y generar empleo cualificado en un sector que es estratégico para la soberanía tecnológica de Europa. Canarias parte de una base extraordinaria: talento, empresas innovadoras, investigadores, administraciones locales, insulares y regional alineadas, y todo ello se suma con un régimen económico y fiscal único en Europa, sin olvidarnos, por supuesto, de nuestra naturaleza, de nuestro clima y de esa conectividad casi excelente. Todo ello configura un entorno ideal para impulsar fotónica integrada, tecnologías cuánticas, tecnología de las cosas, comunicaciones avanzadas, ciberseguridad sensórica, aplicaciones aeroespaciales, sectores que hoy están redefiniendo la frontera del conocimiento y que serán determinantes para la competitividad futura. Pero más allá de las cifras, lo que realmente nos permite avanzar es en la colaboración. Y eso es precisamente lo que hemos visto en CHIPNATION, Carlos. Un ecosistema que escucha, que comparte, que debate y que experimenta y que construye juntos un futuro, tanto tecnológico para Canarias, para España y como para Europa. Quiero agradecer especialmente el compromiso del sector privado, del sector académico y del sector público. No hay estrategia posible sin cooperación, no hay transformación sin alianza, no hay progreso sin visión compartida. Gracias a todas y todos por su participación, por su aportación y por su entusiasmo. Gracias por creer en Canarias como un territorio de innovación. Y gracias por hacer de CHIPNATION el espacio donde están escribiendo el futuro de los semiconductores en España. Les deseo un excelente regreso y, sobre todo, que nos reencontremos muy pronto para seguir construyendo juntos este proyecto. Desde Canarias les decimos hasta pronto y hola Barcelona. Muchas gracias. Buen día.
Okay, so all the words has already been said. So again, thanks. I hear some noises, which I think is the stomachs. We invite you all to join us with the catering. We have lunch for everybody. Don't forget, don't go and run to the beach. We have food available to everybody. And yeah, with the illusion of the next CHIPNATION in Barcelona, we say goodbye and see you next year. Thank you very much.